pick and choose what you want in my process or completely ignore it. It's up to you. I just know some people want to know, and I love helping, so that's why I'm here. So I start by just looking at the picture, and since I've done it a lot of time, I don't necessarily need to think too hard about it to find out the values and big shapes. But if it is your first time or you just struggle in general, which is super valid because it's hard, you can use a filter that I know Photoshop and Clip Studio have, which is just blur the picture, and it's just gonna give you, or like squint real hard also works if you're doing it fully just from life. I'll show you. I'll draw over it. I'll stop the time lapse. Stop right now. I'll show you how I personally went about it, like value-wise, like what I saw in my own silly little eyes, so you can see where I'm going with it. And I start in black and white usually, just because, well, very very loosely black and white. It's not actual grayscale that a lot of grayscale painter use. It's just to know my very general, where's my foreground, middle ground, background area is without having to think about colors first. But the moment I'm done with that, I just go right over it with the actual colors, because I personally, my brain works way better in colors than with grayscale, and I am yet to learn how to make a grayscale painting and have the colors not look kind of disgusting. And you see, as I go with colors, you kind of need, if you do it that way, some color theory knowledge, which honestly it sounds terrifying every time someone talks about color theory. It's really not that bad. It's just very convoluted if you don't have the right source, but I'm basically just going light, warm, shadow, cold. Further away, you look closer to blue. That's like the hardest I'll go on this one. And from there, you just kind of like, you have your big shapes, you have your big colors, and you just kind of build up from there, very loosely. And I try to, as I go, put the same amount of effort at first in everything until I like go, that's kind of enough for what like the furthest is gonna look like. And then I start to like, okay, the foreground is obviously gonna be more detailed because it's up in your face, you're gonna see it more, and the middle ground is gonna be a little detailed, not as much, and background I basically just blob it. But it's also good to think about that one if you want to do a full landscape, like tidied landscape painting. I would spend way more time on it, but I'm approaching this as a simple study without having to like break my head with details, which I usually don't mind. I wouldn't mind doing it, but that wasn't the intent of this one. It's just to go like, I just wanted to practice, have fun, little practice, little trees. I'm also tweaking the values as I go, because a thing I think is good to remember while doing art is that I have an idea in mind of what I want to do, and as I go, I see it's not working, and I just tweak it. I try not to stay attached too hard to the original idea, because then I just spend 20,000 years trying to do the thing I want to do in my brain, but then I can't do what brain do because I is different. So then I just go, you know what, I'm just gonna change it to make it, like, to go with what I have. Like, not have to struggle too much. Personally, when I use reference for whatever study or just the whole painting, I don't try to go for it for a one-on-one, like, photorealistic accuracy on what it is, which is valid if you want to do that. It's just personally not my goal. I use it just like as the base. It's like, I think that looks pretty, and I'm gonna use it to make it work with what like I want to do, which is like goes back to like what my hands decide to do despite what my brain wants. So you can see that it's clearly not fully accurate to the reference. Also, depending on what I want to do, because I am an illustrator, so I like storytelling. So then I add that random little dragonfly at the end, just because I think it looks cute and it goes for a great focal point. My colors also not realistic, like they're way vibrant than it is in real life, just because that's how I like to do colors. Just I think that's a thing that depending on what you want to do, if it's like stylized stuff, they go crazy, you know, like yeah, it might look like that in real life, but if you still apply like the basic fundamentals of art, you can still kind of go crazy. Like yes, my colors are way vibrant, especially in the light, but they still make sense in what the style I am doing. It's coherent. I think that's like the most important lesson, if you will, if you take one from this, is studies are good, do them, try to learn how the world works to be able to make stuff more believable, but don't like beat yourself over the head about how stuff is not 100% accurate sometimes. You can't go crazy, and even if it's not perfect, it's a study. It's to learn, it's to make your brain understand. So just remember to art's supposed to be fun, and if you are in agony while doing it, maybe try to have a different approach, unless you don't have a choice. Like if it's a contract or something, which fly high, but it's okay, happens to the best of us. Sometimes you gotta like do make yourself uncomfortable, but not at the point where like it makes you want to drop everything. So that's how I do it. Here's the final product. Fun nature forest, I like it. So thank you for watching, appreciate it. It's the first time I actually use my voice for a video. I'm kind of self-conscious, but I try my best, and I might do more in the future because I love sharing my brain and making people's brain go bigger.